When I'm dancing, I kind of forget that I live in a world that is quite misogynistic. I literally forget all of that, and I forget that, you know, that some people want me to moderate my behaviour to fit into a very British society. I am British born, but I am of the Caribbean, and I'm representing my culture. And I don't feel like, even with the misogyny, that I should modify my behaviours if I am not being explicit. I'm not nude, I'm not disrespecting anybody, and I'm not making anybody engage with me that doesn't want to. So I feel like, why should I modify the way that I am if I'm being respectful and I am celebrating my culture? I love my culture.
British population that has kind of defined itself against the sexualization of the female body is then met with these dance styles that did the exact opposite and kind of glorified the sexualization of the female body. And I say sexualization there, knowing that actually it means lots of different things to different people.
Dancing is basically my life. I've always been an introvert when I was younger, so when I started dancing, it was my only way to really express myself.
When you grow up, you know, you just discover yourself, you discover your movement and everything. And I think especially with dance, so it's very sexualized. I found extremely sexualized, but maybe the kind of training that I had, it was not only about, you know, shaking the bum, it was about learning about the culture. And then it's not just in dancehall, it's in all the other styles.
In a place like London, these dances are all grouped together. See, soca is coming from a different tradition than reggaeton, you know, but people just see it in a very flattened way. Again, to an outsider who doesn't know that historically it's part of a combination of possibilities, they will probably sexualize, they will see the woman in a much more sexualized light without any understanding of what is she trying to express herself, how is that going to be captured and reabsorbed, you know, there's no context. The other thing is that always these I am showing my body off dances come out too in the carnival context. This is a space too where all these excess energies and frustrations of society are played out, and there are different ways in which you can parade, you can process, and possibly you can also do your own thing. You can step out.
No matter the genre of soca, there's like a feeling of just like happiness, there's a feeling of just freedom. So similar to when you're at carnival and you're on the road, there's just like a feeling of I am free and expression. I'm quite conscious of, even though I'm in feathers, I'm in my costume, I don't particularly feel overly sexualised, but other people look at me in quite a hyper-sexualised way.
The policing of women's bodies in popular dance are absolutely integrated with all the questions we have about policing women's bodies in society more generally.
I was doing a show, but it happened more than once, and people just come and spank your ass. From a side, we want to be liberated and be free to do what we want, exactly like men. But then there are men that they can't deal. Just see half naked, I mean, a bikini or whatever, and they just, you know, feel that they can do that. They can come and touch you. Didn't feel good at all. You know, it happened many times. Even just saying that you're a dancer here, you know, it's just, oh, what type of dancer? Oh, are you stripper? Are you a lap dancer?
I've worked in accounting for a number of years. I've always worked in a corporate environment. And even fully clothed and dressed, I've still faced the same conversations, the same behaviours. So generally speaking, it's an excuse, because the behaviours and the language are not limited to how women are viewed in carnival. It signifies how we're viewed in society.
It's very difficult for us to control what other people think of us, you know, frankly speaking. So I feel a way to tackle it, or different strategies, would be to make people more literate about the deep social contexts that these dances are coming out from, and the sorts of histories of resistance and empowerment that are already embedded in the fact that these dances exist at all, and that they came out of extremely oppressive and disempowered, kind of places for people. And it is a product. All our dances in the Americas, I read them as fundamentally products of embodied resistance.
What I might feel is joyful. I'm whining, I shake my ass, I'm just being myself. Other people are looking at me and they're seeing what they receive to be sexual, but it's more cultural and it's natural, and I feel like it's almost an excuse. I don't know if it's a lack of education, I don't know if it's a lack of familiarity, or if it's just a disregard for women in general. I just don't accept any of those misnomers. I don't accept any of those tropes. And I feel that we need to go forward.
From the perspective of psychology, I think it's quite important to understand the cultural connotations of dance when we discuss things like empowerment. So broadly speaking, empowerment in the context of dance, I would argue, is something that is developed through both a cultural and a personal relationship with the art form.
A scholar called Deborah Thomas has called it ghetto feminism, and a dance scholar called Selena Montero, who looks at dance hall, has called it blackout feminism, where there's actually, these dance forms actually generate a sense of empowerment in relation to the fact that these dance forms and the mobility of the pelvis in female dancers has been oppressed in colonial situations, and continues to be oppressed in post-colonial situations. We need to find ways to understand the plurality of ways of looking at sexuality in dance, and to not just reimpose that same kind of moralizing judgment that has been so common in colonial history.
Dance is liberation, and it should be liberation.
Let people be free. There's such a unique freeness of listening to music and celebrating your culture and celebrating with your friends. Let people do that.